Okay, so this week there wasn't actually a review. I'm sorry about that. I got really busy over the weekend. I'm going to try and make up for it this weekend. I'm going to try and do a review for Big Hero 6 as well as Interstellar. If I can only do one, it's going to be Interstellar. It's just the way it is. But what I wanted to talk about today was this past weekend saw the release of Jake Gyllenhaal's Nightcrawler, which by all accounts is a fantastic movie. I mean, there have been a couple really great movies, starting with John Wick and now Nightcrawler, that have come out 2 weekends next to each other, and by all accounts, by all reviews, they're really fantastic movies, but they didn't nab the #1 spot. And the movie that did is Ouija, a horror movie about the famous poltergeist board, whatever. And it's just really disappointing for me, coming from a moviegoer standpoint, because Ouija is a movie that has been done to death. Literally to death. I mean, the reviews I saw for it said that it is the blandest horror movie to come out in recent years, and that it hits like every single horror trope beat, and yet it still outperforms 2 fantastic movies. And rather than just assume that all moviegoers are just complacent idiots, for lack of a better word, and going and watching, the worst movie compared to a good movie, I tried to figure out, maybe there is, an underlying formula to why it is. I mean, I'm really trying to give you guys the benefit of the doubt here. And what I came up with is, it's more of a familiarity theorem. And what that is to me is, movie tickets are getting more and more expensive every year. You go to the movies nowadays, you spend probably about $10 to $15 on a ticket, just a ticket. And that's not even counting the popcorn, soda, whatever you need for your perfect movie-going experience. And so, you'd rather spend that amount of money, that hard-earned money, on a movie that you more or less know you're going to have a good time with. A movie that you kind of know where it's going to go, that you've liked it before, so you're going to like it this time. Instead of taking that risk and seeing a movie that, people are saying is good, but isn't really that kind of movie that you were super excited to go see or anything like that. And I am taking into account kind of the fact that over Halloween weekend there really wasn't any other release other than Ouija and the Saw 10th Anniversary re-release, which it's 10 years old, we've seen it. And it's one of those things where you are going to see the exact same movie again and again and again, and that's why we don't get a lot of those newer movies that kind of take those risks. Pacific Rim was famously beaten, and I say famously, mostly just from the fanboy standpoint. It was famously beaten by Grown Ups 2 over the box office weekend, and that struck a serious blow because it really just kind of sent this message to the studios that, you guys don't want to see anything fresh, new, or different or anything like that. You're more complacent going to watch the same movies again and again. Now, thankfully, Guillermo del Toro is getting to make his whole Pacific Rim trilogy, probably thanks to, in large part, DVD and Blu-ray sales, which a lot of the movies that I like tend to get their sequels that way, which is just really soul-crushing to me. Because there are a lot of unbelievably fantastic movies out there that doesn't really feel like they're getting a good chance for, everyone to go see, just because it's too different from what you've seen before. I mean, yeah, John Wick, it's an action movie, it's got Keanu Reeves, it's stuff that you've seen before, but again, I'm kind of taking into account it was Halloween weekend, you kind of want to go see something that's qualified as scary, which I really doubt Ouija kind of filled that fix for you guys. But to have that movie win a second weekend in a row, which again, everything I've heard about this movie, it is just terrible. So you would have expected word of mouth to have, helped bring it down a little bit. I mean, I'm not betting that a lot of people have gone to see this movie twice. I can't imagine that people like it that much. I haven't seen it, this is just kind of my perspective on it. But I mean, I'm just saying, there are movies out there that don't really fit into a category. I'm telling you, give independent movies a chance. Let the studios know that you do want to see these movies made, that you do want to see something different. You don't have to see the same movie every single weekend, every single summer. We don't need another sequel. We can have a new franchise, just a new standalone movie that does something different, but does it so brilliantly that we're talking about it for the rest of the year. But as long as we keep going to see the same movies again and again and again, nothing is ever going to change. We have to, as a culture of moviegoers, embrace something different and let them know that we can expand our horizons, that we don't just need another cash grab movie to enjoy on the weekends. Movies adapt, and so can we.